Hello and welcome to another off-meta deck profile brought to you by Double Sleeve. Before I start, I'd like to give a shout out to one of our community members, Nino, for suggesting this deck profile for the expert deck Android 21 leader. I really enjoy putting this deck together and I'm looking forward to taking it to my own locals and having a few games with it with some of the boys down there. Let's get into the deck profile. So on the leader front, we have Android 21 with the generic auto. When this card attacks, draw one card. With the Awaken ability, when you have a blue-green multicolor card in your energy and your life is 6 or less, you may draw one card, then choose one of your energy and switch it to active mode and flip this card over. Really good being able to awaken that higher life there, being able to awaken after just taking either one double strike or a couple of small swings. Having the extra life there is always handy. On the flip side, we have Self-Control Android 21 with a permanent. Really important, you can't play battle cards with an original energy of cost of 6 or more and an auto once per turn. When a card in your energy is placed in your drop area by one of your skills, draw one card, then choose up to one blue-green multicolor card in your drop area, add it to your energy in rest mode, and at the start of your opponent's next main phase, choose up to one blue-green multicolor card in your energy and switch it to active mode. Now we're going to utilize some of this order, but not all of it. We are going to utilize the Xeno Unison, which, as most of you will know, once you use the uptick, you can't put energy in your energy area after you've done that, so we won't be able to actually get the ramp. But by using the Xeno Unison, what we're going to get is consistent draw, which this leader doesn't have on the backside without actually losing an energy. So it's going to guarantee we have that every turn, providing we have that Unison out. It's also going to give us one energy active to do a lot of defensive plays on your opponent's turn. So getting into the actual cards in the deck, it wouldn't be an Android 21 deck without Android 21 and Bad Omen. So Android 21 Bad Omen has energy exhaust and an active main for 4 energy with 2 specified blue and 2 specified green. Play this card from your energy area, and the auto, choose one card from your energy and place it in your drop area. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and up to one of your opponent's life and place them in the drop area. A little bit of removal, a little bit of burn damage. Anyone who's come up against this card will know that generally turn 4 or 5 you're at low life, and if this card's coming out, you're normally close to that 1-2 life anyway, so you want to be pushing towards having your opponent at that 1 life left and then surprise them by just tapping out and playing this card. The next couple of cards we have are there to negate the energy exhaust, so really useful with the Unison, which we'll go through later. But essentially we have Super 17, Hell's ultimate weapon, has a permanent here, which is if your leader card is a blue Android 21, which it is, negate this card's energy exhaust skill in all area. That means it's going to come into your energy in active mode every single time. It's also got an active main, which is 7 energy, 2 blue, 2 green specified. Play this card from your energy area and then play up to 3 Android cards with an energy cost of 5 or less in your energy area. If you're getting up to 7 energy and tapping out, that's a lot of bodies that you can get on the board really cheap. Or not really cheap, but you know, you're getting a lot out for 7 energy with some of the cards that we have in the deck. The next card that we have that negates energy exhaust again, so we have Android 17, Protector of Wildlife. Permanent, if you have a blue-green multicolor card in your energy, negate this card's energy exhaust in all areas. Also has an auto if it's out in your battle area. When your opponent combos, choose up to one of those cards and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck, then negate the skill for the duration of the game. Handy skill to have out there. Generally we won't be tapping 2 to play this guy, but if it's there, it's a bonus. If you do need to use your energy to play something and you're not really worried about charging a multicolor, fine to have it out in the field, but generally we've got a lot of cheaper plays that we'll be working on. Next couple of cards are part of our Arrival package. So we have Android 18, Full of Rage. This card is an Arrival blue-green for 1 specified blue. Has energy exhaust, as all multicolor cards do. Auto, when you play this card, you can't play Android 18 Full of Rage for the duration of the turn. You can play this card offensively, but we're probably going to use it more as a defensive piece. So active battle, here, return this card to its owner's hand, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less and return it to its owner's hand. If you've got someone who's going in really hard with a 4 cost, doesn't have barrier or anything like that, you can essentially arrival it in really cheap, 1 energy with a multicolor card or whatever you choose to combo. We don't actually have too much green in the deck outside of multicolor. Arrival in and then bounce it back to your hand, remove the threat, and then you're not going to take damage or lose a battle card depending on what the actual target is. Our next arrival piece here, we have Android 16 Limiter Disengaged. This is a blocker, arrival blue-green for either 1 blue or 1 green. Also has revival blue-green, which is the limit 1. Permanent, if you have a blue and green cards in your energy area, reduce the combo cost of this card in your hand by 1. We're going to have multicolor out, so it's not going to be an issue. You will notice that it's a 1 cost 5k combo piece, but that 1 cost is always going to be negated. I'll be surprised if you have any games without a multicolor in the energy area. Auto, switch this card to active mode at the end of your turn. Also has an active battle with a limit 1. If it's your opponent's turn and you KO this card, choose one of your opponent's Unison cards, remove a marker from the chosen card. Could come in handy if, say, you've got an opponent who's swinging at you with a Unison, they throw a double strike charmer on there, you KO this card, you can revive him, get the blocker back out, and then by dropping a marker it's going to lose that double strike. Generally we're going to use this guy as a cheap blocker and a cheap bit of pressure to attack your opponent's leader card or battle cards. Next piece we have is part of our ramp package. So we're not running too much ramp in this deck, but we want to run a little bit, so we want to try and stay that one step ahead, and you'll see with our ramp package how that sort of works. So this is Android 16 Energy Amplification. Auto, if you have a blue-green multicolor card in your energy, when you play this card from your hand, place the top card of your deck in your energy in rest mode. You can't play battle cards with power between 30,000 and 35,000 for the duration of the game. So really important to note that 30,000 and 35,000, between those numbers you won't be able to play battle cards. In this build that we have here, you don't have anything to worry about. We've made sure that everything's nice and clean, so you don't need to overthink how you make your plays. Next card we're going into our extra card negate packages here. So the first one links back to that last card. We have Restoration, which is from the Expert deck as well, or expansion, sorry. We have Counter Attack, negates the attack, and then if your leader card is blue, Android 21, which it is, and you have a blue-green multicolor card in your energy, choose one of your Android 16 cards with an energy cost of 2 or less in your hand and play it. So what we ideally want to do, nice and early game, we want to be able to have that 1 energy active, negate one of your opponent's attacks. We're playing Android 16 out, getting that ramp nice and early, and that's how we're going to gain the upper hand. Onto our next card, pretty generic for a blue leader. We are running blue, so we want to make sure, you know, if opponents swinging at us and they say any negates, any counters, we're going to reply straight away. Of course, we're playing blue. We're going to be negating everything. We also want to try and control their board presence. So we have Dimension Magic, Counter Attack if your leader card is blue, negate the attack, then choose up to 2 of your blue energy and switch them to active mode. Also has the Sparking 5, so 5 cards in the drop area. You can activate this card's counter by adding a card from your hand, from your life to your hand, instead of paying its energy cost, and you still get that untap, which is really nice. Another staple in most decks now in every color, we have Chilled's Army Reinforcements. Obviously every color has its own version of this card. Counter Attack if your leader card is mono blue, negate the attack and then play 1 Chilled's Army token with 10,000 power. Doesn't have any combo cost, but it gains blocker for the turn, so a really strong, again, defensive piece. You can use it, especially having that higher life, get down to 5 life, you can use that resource there, and you don't need to worry about taking life, because you should be starting pretty high and staying there as long as possible. Again, blue staple, Senzu Bean, active battle, choose up to 1 of your cards, it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn, then choose up to 2 of your energy, switch them to active mode. Pretty standard, really strong offensive and defensive card depending on what position that you're in. We're going into our battle card negate package now. So the first one we have here, really strong card, I wouldn't even mind bumping this up to 4. Android 18, Let the Battle Begin, from the Battle Evolutions booster box. It's a blocker with a counter play. Play this card, then if the battle card being played has an energy cost of 4 or less, it's placed at the bottom of its owner's deck instead of being played. Also has a permanent, if your leader card is an android, which it is, or a heroine card, and you have a unison card in play with a specified cost of 2 or more, and it's your opponent's turn, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3. So this becomes a 1-drop counter play. where you can potentially stop any a card from hitting the board, and you also get a blocker out of it. That's what we're really trying to do. We're trying to minimize the threats with this deck. We don't want our opponents to really swing ham at us. We don't have too much we can really stop in terms of floodgates, but what we can do is stop them from hitting the board in the first place. To tie in with that, we have Undying Spirit, Son Gohan. Counterplay, play this card, and permanent. If a multicolor card is in your energy area, reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 1. So it becomes a 2 cost, but then it also has this auto. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less, return it to its owner's hand. Again, that board removal there. And then if it's your opponent's turn, choose up to one of your blue energy and switch it to active mode. So essentially becoming a 1 cost, you obviously need 2 up to activate it, but you're getting out for 1, still got 1 energy up for more defensive plays as well. Moving into Trunks, so we've got Super Saiyan 2 Trunks Heroic Prospect, counter attack, negate the attack, and then play this card with a permanent. During your opponent's turn, if you have a blue Unison card in play, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2, becoming a 1 cost. This is essentially a floodgate, not quite as good as your topos and all that sort of stuff, but still very similar effect. Auto, when this card is played, your opponent can't attack with battle cards with an energy cost greater than their current energy for the turn, unless they choose 2 cards in their hand and place them at the bottom of their deck in any order. We know a lot of people are playing battle cards really early that have a higher cost than they're supposed to have generally. So this is really good to try and stop some of those attacks from going through if you got up against a swarm deck with a lot of high swingers. Again, we want to try and stop battle cards from hitting the board. So we've got Super Saiyan Trunks God Sealing Technique, really strong card for blue. Counterplay, you can't activate the counterplay skills of other cards for the turn. Very important, once you activate this, no more counterplays for that turn. So then you may discard this card from your hand. If you do, the battle card being played is returned to its owner's hand instead. If you don't, then play this card. You can use it to get an extra 15k better on the board. 90% of the time you're going to be using it to stop that body from hitting the board in the first place. You really want to try and stop your opponent's board presence here. Being able to put it back to the hand, yes, they gain it back to the hand, but you also aren't at risk of that beta coming down. So if you choose wisely what you're going to counterplay, if you know your opponent's deck, really well timed, you can stop some of those big threats from coming out. Has a permanent, if you have a blue Unison card with 2 or more markers in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. So going on from that into our Unison, we are running Xeno Cosmic Unison. That little bit of ramp gives us that little bit of extra pressure. We really want to run this because it's got that strong +2. It does give you a little bit more energy to play with on your turn, which can come in handy. So going into its skills, it's got +2 active main. If your leader card is mono blue, place the top card of your deck in your energy, and you can't place cards in your energy for the turn. That's the unfortunate part with this card. Then at the end of your turn, place the card that you placed in your energy with the skill in its owner's drop area. Let's say, for example, you play one of your cards that you can play from your energy. Say you happen to hit your Android 21. You get that into your energy from this card. You then pay the cost for the card. You obviously don't need to remove any extra card, which is really good. This does interfere a little bit with the leader skill of not being able to ramp with its auto, but it does guarantee that when a battle card is removed from your energy at the end of every turn, you're going to get that draw instead of having to sit there and play battle cards to try and make that come off. So a little bit more consistency, but you do miss out on the ramp. The -5 is active main. Choose all cards in all battle areas, ignore a barrier, shuffle them back into the owner's deck. Really clutch if you're in a bit of a bind and you need to wipe the board. -5, removing everything, every battle card. It will hit you as well, obviously, but if you're in an absolute pinch, it can come in clutch, and you do gain markers on Xeno really quickly. Going into our super combos for the deck, we have Android 18 Bionic Blitz. We do have a few arrival pieces, so just running a 50-50 split for the super combos. Does have a good skill. Auto, if your leader card is blue or green, when you combo with this card from your hand, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and places it at the bottom of their deck. A little bit of hand destruction. Not really what we're going for, but it's essentially the reverse of a draw one. Ideally, I prefer the draw myself, but it does come in handy with our arrival pieces. The other super combo we're using is Vegito Discipled Warrior. Auto, if your leader card is blue and your life is 4 or less, all your energy is blue. When this card is used in combo, it gets 10,000 power, combo power for the battle. Then you may choose one card in your hand and place it at the bottom of your deck. If you do so, then draw 2 cards. Pretty standard blue super combo. For our overwhelm piece, a little bit of draw power and just to help sort of consistency and remove any dead cards that may be in our hand. So I've got Bardock, Awaken, Instinct, overwhelm 4, so it's nice cheap overwhelm, 20k beater. Auto, when you play this card with overwhelm, draw 2 cards and choose one card in your hand and place it in your drop area. Because we don't have any strong double strikers or anything like that in your base cards, got 2 double strike champers in here. So most people know what this card does. Auto, when you combo this card, choose one of your attacking cards against double strike. Really strong to help finish out games if you got going for game, or say you want to put that extra bit of pressure on to get them down to 1 life so you can play your Android 21 Bad Omen and burn them for that last one. Really strong piece that's important for the deck, but at the same time we don't have too many double strike pressures to help, you know, deal with unisons with markers and that, so important to have a couple of those in there. Secret Rare is a bit of a tricky one because of the permanent of not being able to play battle cards with a cost of 6 or more. You're not really able to do too much. There is the baby counter Great Ape triple striker, could throw that in there, but what I've gone with instead is go for Heron's Lineage for the Secret Rare, and that way, you know, if your opponent has a really strong battle card and it's got a cost of 7 or less, you'll be able to steal it. So has this really good active battle. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 7 or less and gain control of it. They're going for game with that card, whatever it may be. Again, could come in clutch to save yourself from that attack. Or if they've got a really strong body that you want to steal because you feel like it's going to put good pressure on them to help you close out the game, really good piece as well. Final piece here, I feel like this is a card that's slept on a lot with some ramp decks. We should be able to get a little bit ahead with our energy, but this is a great little 1-drop. I really like it. Chilled, intergalactic, I'm not even going to say that, Miranda. So we're not really worried about the auto. I'll read it out anyway. When this card is removed from your battle area by your opponent's skill, choose one Freezer clan in your hand with energy cost of 3 or less and play it. Doesn't really impact us in this deck. What we want is the active battle. So it's great because this is an active battle, not an active main. So you can pay this out for 1, swing with it and see what your opponent does. Do they negate? How do they respond? No negates, beautiful. That's when you go in and go active battle. We pay energy cost of 3, high cost, but it is this game. This card gets 6,000 power for each card in your energy and triple strike for the duration of the battle. Instantly, if it's out on the field already and you're tapping 3 for this card, you've instantly got 18k plus your 4k, so you're at 22,000 triple strike for 3 energy. It's not too bad, but we've got to keep in mind, most likely when we're playing this card and going for game, we're going to be ramping. It's really cheap to get out. You're ramping with your Xeno as well. Get you an extra energy. You're going to be able to get this really big. Say you've got 5 energy, you're already building up really quickly, and you're going to close out games really easily with this card, and will catch a few people by surprise. Only running a 2 of, but it's a sneaky little win con. Trying to keep the deck down to 54 or below, just to make sure we don't miss our unison when we're searching for it. That's the deck profile. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions or any cards that you'd like to see yourself featured on off-meta deck profiles, feel free to leave a comment on our Facebook page. Leave it down in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on our Facebook page for updates also. Just give one final shout out to our community members who do make suggestions. Really appreciate all of your support, and all your suggestions are listened to, and we're working really hard behind the scenes to make sure that we can provide the content that you guys want to see. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.